Now at 6, how the community is coming together to support a Liverpool father suffering from a rare form of cancer. Plus, the race for the White House is heating up, the latest poll numbers, and whether Donald Trump's controversial comments are helping or hurting. And President Obama had a clear message for Kenya today, what he said to the large, enthusiastic crowd. The CNY Central Weekend News at 6 starts right now.
From NBC3, this is the news at 6 p.m.
Good evening, I'm Dora Scheidel. Service has now been restored for Time Warner Cable customers in Oswego County after a second phone outage this morning. Fire officials were told to stand by for the second time this weekend to provide help to neighbors who weren't able to call 911. The first outage was reported yesterday morning. It affected Time Warner Cable customers living in Hastings, Cottenoy, and Central Square. Then the other outage was reported this morning. Still no word on what caused these back-to-back outages. A Liverpool father suffering from a rare form of cancer is hoping the community will come together to help offset some of his soaring medical costs. Our Samantha German met with Anthony Torillo and his family today. She joins us now to explain more about his condition and how you can help. All new at 6. Sam?
Dora, Anthony, who's 32 years old, lives with his wife and son in Liverpool, and he told me he was diagnosed with bilateral Wilms tumor on his very first birthday. Since then, he spent his whole life in and out of the doctor's office for appointments and checkups. Bilateral Wilms tumor is a cancer infecting both of his kidneys. Anthony completely lost his right kidney and has been living off of only 3/4 of his left. Today, he and his family told me they're hosting a fundraising event in 2 weeks to not only shed light on this rare condition, but also to raise money for a kidney transplant Anthony desperately needs to survive.
I felt normal. I had a pretty normal life besides a lot of doctor's appointments and checkups. When I was rushed to the hospital with my lungs were bleeding, and they told me that my kidney had failed. From that point on, it's been
9th at the American Legion in Cicero. It will feature food, drinks, music, raffles, and a lot of fun activities for the kids. And after speaking with Anthony today, I spoke with his father-in-law about how all of this is affecting their entire family, and I'll have that interview coming up tonight at 11. Dora?
Thanks, Sam. Happening now across New York State, Senator Schumer announced today that he's supporting legislation which would increase funds for the development of high-tech sensors that can disable a car's ignition if its driver is drunk. The technology works by detecting alcohol in breath or even the touch of skin. If a person's alcohol level is found to be above the legal limit to drive, the car's ignition will not start. Schumer says the new sensors are less cumbersome than existing ignition locks. Governor Cuomo marked the 25th anniversary of the Federal Americans with Disabilities Act by signing 2 pieces of legislation today that strengthen state protections for people with disabilities. This is video from Thursday when hundreds of Central New Yorkers marched through the streets of downtown Syracuse to celebrate the anniversary. Passed in 1990, the act ensures the civil rights of people with disabilities, making sure they're given equal access and opportunity to employment, public transportation, government services, and more. Who will be in and who will be out? The first presidential debate of the 2016 contest is less than 2 weeks away. And with 16 contenders on the Republican side, how candidates stand in the national polls is crucial. Plus, a new NBC poll shows the race on the Democratic side is changing. Edward Lawrence has details from Washington.
Democratic presidential hopeful Hillary Clinton campaigns in Iowa and answers questions about her use of a private email server while Secretary of State.
Very, very few issues about the 55,000 pages we're talking about, just, 4 or fewer.
Just this week, 2 inspectors general asked questions about 4 emails and asked the Justice Department to investigate. Those questions have affected her lead, as shown in new NBC News Marist polls, where in Iowa, Clinton leads her Democratic rival Bernie Sanders by almost 2-1. In the first primary state, New Hampshire, it's a closer contest. Clinton's email controversy also attracted the attention of Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump.
I don't know how a person with that cloud over their head actually can be running for the office of president.
The new poll puts him second to Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker with Iowa voters. Trump is winning in New Hampshire. The latest Republican to enter the race is not talking about Trump's antics, saying he will run on his record as governor of Ohio.
I'm a problem solver, you know, and I'm not going to just make statements just to make them. And do you ever notice when people run for president, they never keep their word?
Among the Republicans running for president, time for exposure is running out. 10 days to go before the first debate. Edward Lawrence, NBC News, Washington.
Well, after last night's downpour, looks like the sun showed its face today. Not a bad way to wrap up this weekend, Mike.
Yeah, a lot calmer. We were hopefully we'll be able to sleep better tonight because there was a highly electrical storm. Maybe you didn't hear it, but between about 11:30 and 2 o'clock in the morning, rolling through the heart of central New York. Now, right here in Syracuse right now, quiet as can be, sun, a few clouds. Stanley Law Skywatch showing its nice dry pavement. A beautiful Sunday afternoon commute, you could say. This camera showing Interstate 81, brought to us by Adirondack Furniture. Just a lovely sky has developed. The humidity a little bit more bearable as well after being very sticky this morning. Dew points are still in the 60s, but the temperatures have gone up. 83 our temperature. We've got a slight breeze and a lot of sunshine. Now the cold front is just to our south. It is producing along the Twin Tiers some scattered showers and stronger storms over towards the Capital District as well south of Albany. But you know, this is our weather. Sun, few clouds, and I think high pressure is going to be with us the next several days. So nice and quiet for tonight. AC is going to be running this evening with these sticky conditions. Still dew points fairly high, but it'll come down during the overnight. 64 with the dew point close to 60 late at night. Humidity's right back up, and so is the temperature tomorrow. A little patchy fog late night to start tomorrow. Otherwise, a mix of sun and clouds at a high of 88. And it gets hotter for Tuesday and even more so Wednesday. We'll give you those numbers and see when you might get some relief if you're looking for that coming up.
Thank you, Mike. Well, with this hot weather, it's a great day for refreshing iced tea. But before you pour yourself a glass, we do have an alert for all of you tea lovers out there. Teavana is recalling more than 52,000 glass tea pitchers due to laceration and burn hazards. The recall involves 64-ounce Tristan glass pitchers for making hot or cold tea. Teavana has received 50 reports of the pitchers breaking or leaking. You can return the pitchers to any Teavana store or contact the company for a free replacement and a $25 gift card. The pitchers were sold online and in stores from May 2012 until last month. Still ahead, as the Lafayette community continues to mourn, police search for answers after this week's deadly movie theater shooting. Plus, the focus of President Obama's speech as he addressed the country that considers him one of their own. And looking ahead to Monday, our evening call-in is about caring for Alzheimer's patients. It's a stressful family situation, so we're answering your questions about where to find help for family members as well as caregivers. You can call in from 5 to 6:30 here on NBC3 or email us with questions at answers@cnycentral.com.